So today is my first prediction video. I will be predicting every Power 5 school and maybe a few of the big name group of 5 schools. And so obviously today we're getting started with Ohio State. Now in 2019, Ohio State went 13-1. They won the Big Ten championship game, went undefeated throughout Big Ten play, and in Big Ten play they won every game by double digits. Their closest game was that home win against Penn State. They won 28-17. And even that game, Ohio State was up 21-0, and then Penn State made a late push, but still just Ohio State's talent was really too much for really any team in the Big Ten, and they're going to be the favorites coming into this 2020 season. Now, they did lose a lot of production on offense. They lost starting running back J.K. Dobbins, some wide receivers, Austin Mack, starting wide receiver K.J. Hill, another starter, Benjamin Victor, and they lost 2 starting offensive linemen, Jonah Jackson and Brandon Bowen. On the defensive side, obviously they lost Jeffrey Okudah, one of the top picks in the NFL draft, Chase Young, another one of the top picks in the NFL draft, but also Malik Harrison from the linebacker position, Jordan Fuller, another DB, Damon Arnett, another DB, Jashawn Cornell, a D lineman, and Devon Hamilton. So they really lost a lot from all 3 levels on the defense. So it will be interesting to see who has to step up for them, but I do believe that they have the talent, they've had the recruiting classes that people will step up and it won't be too big of a problem for them. And obviously they have Justin Fields coming back, and coming into the 2020 season, he is one of the leading Heisman candidates and is also definitely a projected high first-round draft pick. So I believe he'll have another great year. And now we're going to get into our predictions. And now before we start, I'm just going to say that this is given the information that we know. We obviously know that it's very, very unlikely that all of these stadiums are going to be at high capacity or full capacity. And we know, for example, the Oregon game, the governor has already said there will be no fans attending that game, and we're taking that into consideration. And with that being said, the Buckeyes start their season off against Bowling Green at home, September 5th. This will be an easy game for the Buckeyes. The talent level the Buckeyes have compared to Bowling Green, I really don't even know what Bowling Green did last year, but nonetheless, it'll be an easy game for the Buckeyes. And this is where things start to get interesting early. Ohio State has to travel out to Autzen Stadium, all the way to the West Coast, week 2, to play top 10 ranked Oregon. Now this is, we don't really know if Ohio State's still going to travel all the way across the country so early, just with, we don't know where the coronavirus is going to be. So if this game takes place, there is going to be no fans, it's a given. Oregon is coming off a very, very good season. They do lose Justin Herbert and some other key players, but I think they were 11-3 with a Rose Bowl win. So that's, Oregon really played well, but I just think Ohio State's too talented. I don't see Oregon winning this game, especially without the home field advantage. So I'm gonna have to give the win to Ohio State, starting them off at 2-0. Week 3, they're playing at home against Buffalo. Buffalo was a sneaky good team last year. If you remember last year, I think they were tied or they were beating Penn State at halftime. Penn State would pull away, but still Buffalo put up a good fight there, so that'll be interesting. But still, Ohio State will definitely take care of that game. Week 4, they open up Big Ten play against Rutgers, so that's a easy game to ease your way into Big Ten play. And then they go into the bye week, and then after the bye week, they have Iowa. Now Iowa loses a lot of production. They lose their starting quarterback Nathan Stanley, and Iowa also is one of the hardest schedules in the Big Ten. And Iowa, just with all their losses, and it's at Ohio State. Ohio State should take this win pretty convincingly. Then week 7, they go on the road to Michigan State. Now with Michigan State, we don't know too much. This is one of the teams that is probably hurt the most by the coronavirus, as they had the late hiring of Mel Tucker. There's, Mark D'Antonio, after being there for so long, finally leaving. It's just not a great situation there. So I'm going to have to give Ohio State the win there, making them start the season 6-0. And that leads up to a huge matchup in Happy Valley against the Penn State Nittany Lions on October 24th. Now this is scheduled to be the whiteout game, and originally I really liked Penn State. They got Micah Parsons, Lamont Wade, a very, very talented defense. Sean Clifford, I expect to make a big jump this year. One of the best running back cores in the nation. They have a pretty solid team this year. And if they were playing this game in front of 110,000 in the whiteout, I would give this game to Penn State, but I don't see that happening. Maybe this game will be in front of 20,000, but it's still just not going to be the same, and Ohio State's just too talented, and it'll be a close game, but this is going to be Ohio State's toughest test, I think, by far this season, but I think Ohio State's going to come out with a W in this game. And then they go back to Columbus to host Nebraska. Now, Nebraska is one of these tricky teams. We all thought last year was their year to, finally make a bowl game at least. Big step. They were in the AP poll. People were even saying Adrian Martinez was a Heisman candidate. I didn't believe into any of that hype just because they hadn't done anything. And yeah, they went like 4-8, 5-7, not too great. So Ohio State definitely going to get the win there. Now, November 7th, they host Indiana. Indiana is one of the most slept-on teams in the country. Last year, they went 8-4 with their losses to Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, and Michigan State. So really, no bad losses there. And in their bowl game against Tennessee in the Gator Bowl, they had that game won, but just a fourth quarter choke job, ended up losing that game. But Indiana really has a lot to like about this team. The schedule is somewhat favorable. Indiana does start the season off against Wisconsin, but nonetheless, they will be a very good team in a possible sleeper game. We don't know, but I still, at home, Ohio State, they'll get the job done against Indiana. I'm not too worried there. And then we have November 14th. They go on the road to Maryland. We don't really know what to expect from Maryland. Last year, they had that great start, destroying, Towson, I think it was, and then absolutely destroying Syracuse, who was ranked at the time. Then, they dropped that game to Temple, and then we all know, that Friday night game, the blackout, super hyped up, one of Maryland's biggest games ever, losing 59-0 to Penn State. Now, they did get Tagovailoa from Alabama. We don't know his eligibility and whatnot, but they have had a decent recruiting class, but still, just I can't see Ohio State losing this game. I know last time Ohio State, when it came into University Park, it was a very close game, and Maryland probably should have won that game if they could have completed that 2-point conversion with the guy wide open, but still, I think Ohio State wins this one pretty sound and pretty big. Now, right before the Michigan game, they go on the road to Illinois. We all remember Illinois had that great upset win against Wisconsin last year. Illinois really turned their season around. They got to a bowl game, had that crazy win. They were down huge against Michigan State, came back to win that game, and just a great year for Lovie Smith. I don't know too much about what they're returning or what they're getting back, but I think Ohio State is able to take care of business, and that makes them 11-0 coming into the Ohio State-Michigan game. Now, this game is going to be in Columbus. Don't know what the fans are going to be like, but I don't even think Michigan's going to be that good. They lose Donovan Peoples-Jones, they lose Shea Patterson, along with a lot of key players on the defense. Dylan McCaffrey. I don't know too much. I don't think he's going to be all that great for them if he even wins the starting job. And I don't see Michigan beating Ohio State. It's been so long since Michigan's beaten them, and I don't think Harbaugh has it in him, honestly. And I think Ohio State is going to finish the season 12-0, putting them in prime position for a college football playoff bid. And that'll put them obviously in the Big Ten championship game, just like last year. So a very successful season for the Ohio State Buckeyes. That concludes our 2020 Ohio State predictions. Comment down below what you think Ohio State will do in this 2020 season, and please leave a like and subscribe.